this echo, 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 echo in my mind. Until this echo, 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 echo can subside. Yeah. So with trapped echo and all my computer equipment working, thank God, we will read from Two Gentlemen from Verona, William Shakespeare, Act 4. Scene 1, enter Valentine, Speed, and certain outlaws. Outlaw. Fellows, stand fast. I see a passenger. If there be 10, shrink not, but down with them. Stand, sir, and throw us that you have about ye. If not, we'll make you sit and rifle you. Sir, we are undone. These are the villains that all the travelers do fear so much. My friends, that's not so, sir. We are your enemies. Peace. We'll hear him. By my beard we will we? For he is a proper man. Then know that I have little wealth to lose. A man I am crossed with adversity. My riches are these poor habiliments, of which, if you should here disfurnish me, you take the sum and substance that I have. Whither travel you? To Verona. Whence came you? From Milan. Have you long sojourned there? Some 16 months, and longer might have stayed, if crooked fortune had not thwarted me. What, were you banished thence? I was. For what offense? For that which now torments me to rehearse. I killed a man whose death I must much repent. But yet I slew him manfully in fight, without false vantage or base treachery. Why, ne'er repent it, if it were done so. But were you banished for so small a fault? I was, and held me glad of such a doom. Have you the tongues? My youthful travel therein made me happy, or else I often had been miserable. But the bare scalp of Robin Hood's fat friar, this fellow were a king for our wild faction. We'll have him, sir's a word. Master, be one of them. It's an honorable kind of thievery. Peace, villain. Tell us this, have you anything to take to? Nothing but my fortune. Know then that some of us are gentlemen, such as the fury of ungoverned youth, thrust from the company of awful men. Myself was from Verona banished, for practicing to steal away a lady, an heir and near allied unto the Duke. And I from Mantua for a gentleman, who in my mood I stabbed unto the heart. And I for such like petty crimes as these, but to the purpose, for we cite our faults. What they may hold excused our lawless lives, and partly seeing you are beautified, with goodly shape and by your own report, a linguist and a man of such perfection, as we do in our quality much want. Indeed, because you are a banished man, therefore above the rest we parlay to you. Are you content to be our general? to make a virtue of necessity and live as we do in this wilderness. What sayest thou? Wilt thou be of our consort? Say A, and be the captain of us all. We'll do thee homage and be ruled by thee. Love thee as our commander and our king. Love thee as our commander and our king. But if thou scorn our courtesy, thou diest. Thou shalt not live to brag what we have offered. I take your offer, and will live with you, provided that you do no outrages on silly women or poor passengers. Now, no, we detest such vile base practices. Come, go with us. We'll bring thee to our cruise, and show thee all the treasure we have got, which with ourselves all rest at thy dispose. Scene 2, enter Proteus. Proteus. Already have I been false to Valentine, and now I must be as unjust to Thurio. Under the color of commending him, I have access my own love to prefer. But Sylvia is too fair, too true, too holy, to be corrupted with my worthless gifts. When I protest true loyalty to her, she twits me with my falsehood to my friend. When to her beauty I commend my vows, she bids me think of how I have been forsworn. In breaking faith with Julia, whom I loved, and notwithstanding all her sudden quips, the least whereof would quell a lover's hope. Yet spaniel-like, the more she spurns my love, the more it grows and fawneth on her still. But here comes Thurio. Now must we to her window, and give some evening music to her ear. How now, Sir Proteus, are you crept before us? Gentle Thurio, for you know that love will creep in service where it cannot go. But I hope, sir, that you love not here. Sir, but I do, or else I would be hence. Who, Sylvia? Sylvia, for your sake. I thank you for your own. Now, gentlemen, let's tune, and to it lustily a while. Enter at one side host Julia in boy's clothes as Sebastian. Host. Now, my young guest, methinks your alley-collie, I pray you, why is it? Marry mine host, because I cannot be merry. Come, we'll have you merry. I'll bring you where you shall hear music and see the gentleman that you asked for. But shall I hear him speak? That you shall. That will be music. Music plays. Hark, hark, is he among these? But peace, let's hear him. Song. Who is Sylvia? What is she? That all our swains commend her? Holy fair and wise is she. The heaven such grace did lend her, that she might admired be. Is she kind as she is fair? For beauty lives with kindness. Love doth to her eyes repair, to help him of his blindness, and being helped inhabits there. Then to Sylvia let us sing, that Sylvia is excelling. She excels each mortal thing, upon the dull earth dwelling. To her let us garlands bring. How now, are you sadder than you were before? How do you, man? The music likes you not. You mistake. The musicians likes me not. Why, my pretty youth, he plays false father. How out of tune on the strings. Not so, but yet so false that he grieves my very heartstrings. You have a quick ear. I would I were deaf. It makes me have a slow heart. I perceive you delight not in music, not a whit, when it jars so. Hark, what fine change is in the music. That change is the spite. You would have them always play but one thing. I would always have one play but one thing. But host doth Sir Proteus, that we talk on often resort unto this gentlewoman. I tell you what, Launce, his man told me. He loved her out of all nick. Where is Launce? Gone to seek his dog, which tomorrow by his master's command he must carry for a present to his lady. Peace, stand aside, the company parts. Sir Thurio, fear not you, I will so plead, that you shall say my cunning drift excels. Where meet we? At St. Gregory's Well. Farewell. Madame, good even to your ladyship. I thank you for your music, gentlemen. Who is that spake? One lady, if you knew his pure heart's truth, you would quickly learn to know him by his voice. Sir Proteus, as I take it. Sir Proteus, gentle lady, and your servant? What's your will? That I may compass yours. You have your wish, my will is even this, that presently you hie home to bed, though subtle, perjured, false, disloyal man. Thinkest thou I am so shallow, so conceitless, to be seduced by thy flattery, that hast deceived so many with thy vows? Return, return, and make thy love amends. For me, by this pale queen of night I swear, I am so far from granting thy request, that I despise thee for thy wrongful suit, and by and tend to chide myself, even for this time I spend in talking to thee. I grant, sweet love, that I did love a lady, but she is dead. 'Twere false, if I should speak it, for I am sure she is not buried. Say that she be, yet Valentine thy friend survives, to whom thyself art witness I am betrothed. And art thou not ashamed to wrong him with thy impotent importuncy? I likewise hear that Valentine is dead, and so suppose am I, for in his grave assure thyself my love is buried. Sweet lady, let me rake it from the earth. Go to thy lady's grave, and call her thence, or at least in her sepulchre thine. He heard not that. Madame, if your heart be so obdurate, vouchsafe me yet your picture for my love, the picture that is hanging in your chamber. To that I'll speak, to that I'll sigh and weep, for since the substance of your perfect self is else devoted, I am but a shadow, and to your shadow will I make true love. If 'twere a substance, you would sure deceive it, and make it but a shadow, as I am. I am very loath to be your idol, sir, but since your falsehood shall become your well, to worship shadows and adore false shapes, send to me in the morning, and I'll send it, and so good rest. As wretches have overnight, that wait for execution in the morn. Host, will you go? By my halidom, I was fast asleep. Pray you, where lies Sir Proteus? Marry at my house, trust me, think 'tis almost day. Not so, but it hath been the longest night, that e'er I watched in the most heaviest. Scene 3. Enter Eglamour. Eglamour. This is the hour that Madame Sylvia entreated me to call and know her mind. There's some great matter she'll employ me in. Madame, madame. Enter Sylvia above at her window. Sylvia. Who calls? Your servant and your friend, one that attends your ladyship's command. Sir Eglamour, 1,000 times good morrow. As many worthy lady to yourself, according to your ladyship's impose, I am thus early come to know what service it is your pleasure to command me in. O Eglamour, thou art a gentleman. Think not I flatter, for I swear I do not. Valiant, wise, remorseful, well accomplished, thou art not ignorant what dear good will I bear unto the banished Valentine, nor how my father would enforce me marry vain Thurio, whom my very soul abhors. Thyself hast loved, and I have heard thee say, no grief did ever come so near thy heart, as when thy lady in thy true love died, upon whose grave thou vowedst pure chastity, Sir Eglamour. I would to Valentine, to Mantua, where I hear he makes abode. And for the ways are dangerous to pass, I do desire thy worthy company, upon whose faith and honor I repose. Urge not my father's anger, Eglamour, but think upon my grief, a lady's grief, and on the justice of my flying hence, to keep me from a most unholy match, which heaven and fortune still rewards with plagues. I do desire thee, even from a heart as full sorrows as the sea of sands, to bear me company, and go with me, if not, to hide what I have said to thee, that I may venture to depart alone. Madame, I pity much your grievances, which, since I know they virtuously are placed, I give consent to go along with you, reaking as little what betideth me, as much as I wish all good befortune you. When will you go? This evening coming. Where shall I meet you? At Friar Patrick's cell, where I intend holy confession. I will not fail your ladyship. Good morrow, gentle lady. Good morrow, kind Sir Eglamour. And just to get a little of the scenery back, turn off this light. Oh, praise God. And here we go to continue in scene 4. Enter Launce with his dog. Launce. When a manservant shall play the cure with him, look you, it goes hard. One that I brought up of a puppy, one that I saved from drowning, when 3 or 4 of his blind brothers and sisters went to it. I have taught him, even as one would say precisely, thus I would teach a dog. I was sent to deliver him as a present to Mistress Sylvia from my master. And I came no sooner into the dining chamber, but he steps me to her trencher and steals her capon's leg. Oh, 'tis a foul thing when a cure cannot keep himself in all companies. I would have, as one should say, one that takes upon him to be a dog indeed, to be, as it were, a dog at all things. If I had not had more wit than he, to take a fault upon me that he did, I think verily he had been hanged for't. Sure as I live, he had suffered for't. You shall judge. He thrusts me himself into the company of 3 or 4 gentlemen like dogs, under the Duke's table. He had not been there, bless the mark, a pissing while, but all the chamber smelt him. Out with the dog, says one. What cure is that? Says another. Whip him out, says the third. Hang him up, says the Duke. I, having been acquainted with the smell before, knew it was crab, and goes me to the fellow whips the dog, and goes me to the fellow that whips the dogs. Friend, quoth I, you mean to whip the dog? Marry, do I? Quoth he, you do him the more wrong. Quoth I, 'twas I did the thing you wot of. He makes me no more ado, but whips me out of the chamber. How many masters would do this for his servant? Nay, I'll be sworn. I have sat in the stocks for pudding he hath stolen. Otherwise he had been executed. I have stood on the pillory for geese he hath killed. Otherwise he had suffered for it. Thou thinkest not of this now. Nay, I remember the trick you served me when I took my leave of Madam Sylvia. Did not I bid thee still mark me, and do as I do? When didst thou see me heave up my leg and make water against a gentlewoman's farthingale? Didst thou ever see me do such a trick? Enter Proteus, Julia, disguised as Sebastian. Proteus, Sebastian is thy name. I like thee well, and will employ thee in some service presently. In what you please, I'll do what I can. I hope thou wilt. How now, you whoreson peasant? Where have you been these 2 days loitering? Marry, sir, I carried Mistress Sylvia the dog you bade me. And what says she to my little jewel? Marry, she says your dog was a cure, and tells you curish thanks is good enough for such a present. But she received my dog. No, indeed, did she not. Here I have brought him back again. What didst thou offer her this from me? Sir, the other squirrel was stolen from me by the hangman's boys in the marketplace, and then I offered her mine own, who is a dog as big as 10 of yours, and therefore the gift the greater. Go get thee hence, and find my dog again, or ne'er return again into my sight. Away, I say, stayest thou to vex me here? And exit Launce. A slave that still and turns me to shame. Sebastian, I have entertained thee, partly that I have need of such a youth, that can with some discretion do my business, for 'tis no trusting to yond foolish lout, but chiefly for thy face and thy behaviour, which, if my augury deceive me not, witness good bringing up, fortune, and truth. Therefore know thou, for this I entertain thee. Go presently and take this ring with thee. Deliver it to Madame Sylvia. She loved me well, delivered it to me. It seems you loved not her to leave her token. She is dead, belike. Not so, I think she lives. Alas, why dost thou cry, alas? I cannot choose but pity her. Wherefore shouldest thou pity her? Because methinks that she loved you as well as you do love your Lady Sylvia. She dreams on him that has forgot her love. You dote on her that cares not for your love. 'Tis pity love should be so contrary, and thinking on it makes me cry, alas. Well, give her that ring, and therewithal this letter, that's her chamber. Tell my lady I claim the promise for her heavenly picture. Your message done, hie home unto my chamber, where thou shalt find me sad and solitary. How many women would do such a message? Alas, poor Proteus, thou hast entertained a fox to be the shepherd of thy lambs. Alas, poor fool, why do I pity him that with his very heart despiseth me? Because he loves her. He despiseth me. Because I love him, I must pity him. This ring I gave him when he parted from me, to bind him to remember my good will. And now am I, unhappy messenger, to plead for that which I would not obtain, to carry that which I would have refused, to praise his faith which I would have dispraised. I am my master's true confirmed love, but cannot be true servant to my master unless I prove false traitor to myself. Yet will I woo for him, but yet so coldly as heaven it knows. I would not have him speed. Gentlewoman, good day. I pray you be my mean, to bring me where to speak with Madame Sylvia. What would you with her, if that I be she? If you be she, I do entreat your patience to hear me speak the message I am sent on. From whom? From my master, Sir Proteus, madame. He sends you for a picture? Madame. Ursula, bring my picture there. Go give your master this. Tell him from me, one Julia, that his changing thoughts forget, would better fit his chamber than this shadow. Madame, please you peruse this letter. Pardon me, madame, I have unadvised delivered you a paper that I should not. This is the letter to your ladyship. I pray thee let me look on that again. It may not be. Good madame, pardon me. There, hold. I will not look upon your master's lines. I know they are stuffed with protestations and full of new-found oaths, which he will break, and easily, as I do tear this paper. Madame, he sends your ladyship this ring. the more shame for him that he sends it me. For I have heard him say 1,000 times his Julia gave it him at his departure. Though his false finger have profaned the ring, mine shall not do his Julia so much wrong. She thanks you. What sayest thou? I thank you, madame, that you tender her. Poor gentlewoman, my master wrongs her much. Dost thou know her? Almost as well as I do know myself. To think upon her woes I do protest, that I have wept 100 several times. Belike she thinks that Proteus hath forsook her. I think she doth, and that's her cause of sorrow. Is she not passing fair? She hath been fairer, madame, than she is. When she did think my master loved her well, she in my judgment was as fair as you. But since she did neglect her looking glass, and threw her sun-expelling mask away, the air hath starved the roses in her cheeks, and pinched the lily tincture of her face, that now she is become as black as I. How tall was she? About my stature, for at Pentecost, when all our pageants of delight were played, our youth got me to play the woman's part, and I was trimmed in Madame Julia's gown, which served me as fit by all men's judgments, as if the garment had been made for me. Therefore I know she is about my height, and at that time I made her weep a good. For I did play a lamentable part, madame, 'twas Ariadne passioning, for Theseus' perjury and unjust flight, which I so lively acted with my tears, that my poor mistress, moved therewithal, wept bitterly, and would I might be dead, if I felt not her very sorrow. She is beholding to thee, gentle youth. Alas, poor lady, desolate and left. I weep myself to think upon my words. Here, youth, there is my purse. I give thee this for thy sweet mistress' sake, because thou lovest her farewell, and she shall thank you for it, if e'er you know her. A virtuous gentlewoman, mild and beautiful. I hope my master's suit will be but cold, since she respects my mistress's love so much. Alas, how love can trifle with itself. Here is her picture. Let me see, I think, if I had such a tire, his face of mine were full of lovely as is this of hers. And yet the painter flattered her a little, unless I flatter with myself too much. Her hair is auburn, mine is perfect yellow. If that be all the difference in his love, I'll get me such a colored periwig. Her eyes are gray as glass, and so are mine. But her forehead's low, and mine's as high. What should it be that he respects in her? But I can make her respective in myself. If this fond love were not a blinded god, come, shadow, come and take this shadow up, for 'tis thy rival, O thou senseless form. Thou shalt be worshipped, kissed, loved, and adored. And were there sense in his idolatry, my substance should be statue in thy stead. I'll use thee kindly for thy mistress's sake, that used me so, or else by Jove I vow, I should have scratched out your unseeing eyes, to make my master out of love with thee. End of Act 4. Praise God, Jesus Christ, so blessed in the love of God.